Hi friends, my name is Jenna out of Dog Liaison Training out of Southern California, and today we're going to talk about territoriality and our philosophy to approaching territoriality in your dog. So territoriality falls under the large umbrella of resource guarding. And resource guarding is a pretty big category that I would say the vast majority of aggression cases kind of fall under the resource guarding category. Territoriality in particular tends to be one of the more stereotypical forms of aggression in your dog. So territoriality can happen as a result of a person walking by a bed that the dog is laying on, or maybe you walk up to the bed and you put your hands on the dog and he air nips at you, or maybe every single time a person walks by your house, your dog runs to the fence and barks and growls and throws a tantrum. Or perhaps you're out on a walk and every single time a stranger walks up to you or another dog walks up to you, your dog guards you and growls. Okay. So territoriality, though, has sort of this stigma as being a defect in a dog. That if the dog is growling and barking or air nipping as a result of you walking up to their dog bed, that is a problem, that something has gone wrong in the dog, it's defective. And that's just not true. It's understandable that someone would assume that, because a lot of danger can happen as a result of that territoriality. Someone could get seriously hurt, another dog could get seriously hurt as a result of that territoriality. But one thing that I want you guys to think about is that on an evolutionary scale, that territoriality is essential to that dog's sustainability. So if we ever think about a species that just kind of lets anybody use his food, lets anybody use his shelter, lets anybody use his water, that species is not likely to stick around for very long, right? As a way to survive, he needs to be the fittest, right? And he needs to guard those resources in order for sustainability. The dog that is just letting everybody have his resources is going to die off. So instead of thinking of the dog that is territorial as a problem or a defect or special or something's gone wrong, I just don't know what happened to him, I want you to kind of flip it in your mind and think of, on the genetic evolutionary scale, my dog has a competitive edge, right? My dog's genetics has equipped him with skills necessary to survive in the wild. And just because we've decided to domesticate the dog doesn't mean that he now all of a sudden shouldn't have those skills. In fact, those skills might be downplayed the more we domesticate dogs. So that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't teach dogs to overcome that territoriality. It doesn't mean that it's not important that we desensitize what they perceive as a threat. That is absolutely important. Those learned behaviors that we teach a dog to accept us coming over to their bed, perhaps, or accept people walking by their house, or even accepting strangers coming into the house. These are all very important learned skills. But that's the key. They're learned. What's innate is territoriality, is this competitive desire to protect resources. So I hope that by thinking of it in those terms, it'll help you kind of have a perspective of the difficulty that you're enduring when you're teaching a dog a new learned behavior. Particularly when you're curing territoriality, you are going against innate behavior, and that's very difficult. So I hope this kind of removes the stigma that a territorial dog is a bad dog or inherently bad or evil or something's gone wrong, because in the grand scheme of things, if we're talking about animal behavior, your dog is well equipped. Your dog who is territorial is, for all intents and purposes, survival of the fittest. He is the fittest. So that's my spiel on territoriality. I'll see you guys next video.